Okay, this is chapter 9, lesson 2, the distributive property. And the distributive property allows you to decompose one factor. So if I have 4 times 9, okay, I'm going to decompose one factor to maybe 6 and 3. Okay. Then you can use the smaller known facts to find the product. So then now I have, instead of 4 times 9, I would have 4 times 6 and 4 times 3. And those are factors that I know already. So let's look at the example that they have. It says, Henry's hardware store sells wrench sets. Each set holds 6 wrenches. How many wrenches are there in 8 sets? So it looks like they're decomposed. They're going to find 8 times 6. They want to decompose one factor. Okay, so one way is to decompose the 6, right? And then they decompose the 6 into what 2 factors? 5 plus 1. They could probably done 2 and 4. They could have done 3 and 3. But they decided to do 5 and 1. So they went ahead and decomposed 6 to 5 and 1. Okay, so now I have 8 times 5. And I have 8 times 1, and then I add them together. So 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 1 is 8. And then I add 40 plus 8, it would be 40 plus 8?
48.
48. So I know that now that 8 times 6 is 48. So there's going to be 48 wrenches altogether.
Distributive property. A hardware store sells wrench sets. Each set holds 8 wrenches. How many wrenches are there in 6 sets? To find how many wrenches are in 6 sets, we need to multiply 8 times 6. To help us, we can use the distributive property of multiplication, which allows us to decompose numbers. Then we can use known facts to find the product. One way is to decompose 6 into 5 and 1. First, let's model 8 times 6 using an array. Since 8 times 5 and 8 times 1 are easier to work with, let's decompose 6 into 5 and 1. Now we can find 8 times 5 and 8 times 1. 8 times 5 is equal to 40, and 8 times 1 is 8. Next, add the products together. 40 plus 8 equals 48. Another way is to decompose 6 into 3 and 3. Again, use an array to show 8 times 6. Now decompose 6 into 3 and 3. 8 times 3 is equal to 24. Let's add the products. 24 plus 24 equals 48. So 8 times 6 equals 48. There are 48 wrenches.
Here's example number 2. It says, Karina's dad used 7 boards to build a picnic table. How many nails were used if each board needed 7 nails? So now I have 7 times 7, and it looks like they're going to decompose, obviously, one of the 7s, right? Okay, and they're going to decompose 7 into what? 5 plus 2. So now their array, they have 7 times 5, and they have 7 times 2. Well, I know those facts. 7 times 5 is 35. And 7 times 2? 14. And I add those together. So 35 plus 14. 4 plus 5 is 9. And 3 plus 1 is 4. So 7 times 7 is? 7 times 7? 49. So there are 47 nails altogether. Now look at number 1. Okay. I want to know what's 8 times 3, and we're going to decompose one of the factors. Okay. Could I decompose 3? Probably I could, but I'm gonna decompose 8 because I know it's a lot easier to do 3 times something instead of 8 times something. Okay, so you always want to, in some cases, just decompose maybe the bigger number or a number that you can actually decompose. But it really doesn't matter which number you want to decompose. But for me, it'll be easier to just multiply something by 3. So if I decompose 8, let's go with 5 and 3. So 5 times 3 and 3 times 3. Well, I know what 5 times 3 is. 15. And 3 times 3 is 9. And then I add both of those together. 15 plus 9. 9 plus 5 is 14. Put the 4 down, carry the 1. Then 1 plus 1 is 2. So 15 plus 9 is 24. So then I know that 8 times 3 is 24. All right, go ahead and do number 2, please. So I have 8 times 8, and I want to decompose one of the 8s. Well, I only need one of the 8s that I need to decompose, so one of them stays the same. Decompose 8, well, I can use 3 and 5. I could also use 6 and 2, or I could even use 4 and 4, right? That's correct? Yes. So if I was me, I'm probably just going to use 4 and 4 because that gives me the same answer, huh? Okay, so 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 4 is also 32. And then I just need to add 32 plus 32. 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 3 is 6. It's 64. I could do it that way. Or if I did use 3 and 5, I know that 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 3 is 24. And then add both of those. 40 plus 24. 0 plus 4 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. So 8 times 8 is 64. I could have done it that way. Or another way to do it, well, I did 5 and 3. I did 4 and 4, 6 and 2. So 8 times 6. And then 8 times 2. 8 times 2 is 16. And 8 times 6 is 48. So 48 plus 16. 8 times 6 is, 8 plus 6 is 14. Put the 4 down. Carry the 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. Plus 1 more is 6. Yeah, I also got 64. Is there any correct way of doing it? Can I use, does it matter which numbers that I picked? No. As long as the 2 numbers that you use to decompose one of the factors has to add up to that factor. Okay? I can't do 4 and 3 because does that equal 8?
No.
No. I can't do 5 and 2. Does that equal 8?
No.
No. Okay, now you're gonna click the little orange check that we did. You're gonna click on that. It's gonna take you to a little quiz. Click on that here. It's gonna take you to this. Okay. I want you to go ahead and work on all the questions all the way down. When you're all done, you're gonna click check and then email it to me. All right, we can get started.